Hey guys, it's Steven here, back with another episode of the Transfer Target. Today we're going to be talking about Kalidou Koulibaly. Before I do that though, I want to say there's only 7 days left in the 2021 Premier League countdown.
The 2021 season countdown is brought to you by Oddschecker, your one-stop betting hub.
Yep, thanks to Oddschecker for sponsoring the 2021 season countdown on Esteemed Kompany. And there's only 7 days left until the start of the season. And if you like a pun, Oddschecker is the only betting app you need for the Premier League season. It used to be a place where you could just compare odds, but now you can actually bet through the app as well. So it's kind of like a Deliveroo, but for betting, if that makes sense. So today, they've asked me to talk about the relegation battle, and I've got the odds here, and I can't really see past West Brom and Fulham, and maybe Villa, maybe Newcastle, Burnley, Palace will be dragged into it, but currently West Brom and Fulham are both 11-10 to go down. And I can't really be surprised by that. Leeds out kind of by a mile, to be honest. 7-2, they're not doing too bad. And I actually agree that the Leeds might actually do well as well. Do let me know down in the comments who you think could get relegated. And don't forget, if you haven't already, check the link in the description to download the Oddschecker app, where you can bet with all the leading bookies in one place. Don't forget, you've got to be 18 plus to gamble. And make sure you gamble responsibly. But today, we're all aboard the Koulibaly canoe. It's not quite as exciting as the Messi hype train, admittedly, but the Koulibaly canoe is kicking into overdrive. And finally, we needed this good news. I feel like Manchester City needed this good news. I feel like sometimes maybe the board are like, right, Messi's done. It's over. It's dead in the water. Shall we just get the Koulibaly canoe fully into rowing action? It's currently going across the Atlantic Ocean. It's heading towards the English Channel. Hopefully, it'll make its way up to, I don't know, what's the nearest dock? Liverpool dock or something like that. And then he'll head into Manchester. I'm really excited by this because Koulibaly is a player that we actually definitely 1000% need. We didn't kind of need Messi. I wanted Messi. I'm not going to pretend we didn't. But we didn't need him, so to speak. And Koulibaly, though, is one that we actually do definitely need. Now, according to many sources, the negotiation of the Koulibaly transfer is into its decisive phase. That's the words used by Gazzetta Italia, and also Alfredo Perdula has said basically Koulibaly to Manchester City is approaching. In the last few hours, contacts with Fali Ramadani have intensified, with City's offer increasing to a base of around 68 to 70 million euros plus bonuses. Koulibaly is waiting, but he knows his future is now written. I've seen some reports of around 73 million euros. I think largely we can expect it to be somewhere between 65 and 75 million euros, which is an awful lot of money. But personally, that is absolutely none of my business, so I'm not going to complain at all. Koulibaly is a player we 1000% need. And I think it's fair to say, at the moment, given everything, I can expect this to go through inside the next week or so. I know we've been down this road a billion times, but you got to bear in mind all the comments from Aurelio De Laurentiis recently when he said that he's willing to sell Koulibaly. He started saying that City won't really negotiate them because of the Jorginho stuff, which is incredibly petty, and I absolutely love it. And if you don't know, of course, the Jorginho stuff is when 2 years ago, City thought they'd agreed a deal, and then basically Napoli said, fuck it, we'll just sell him to Chelsea instead, and they jumped in last minute. We kind of probably dodged a bullet there, but City apparently had their fingers burned quite heavily from this, and as a result, they've not even spoke to Napoli directly. It's gone all via an intermediary, which is in this case is actually Koulibaly's agent, Ramadani. So he's been doing all the negotiations, which is apparently why it's been a little bit slow, because it's been a middleman, which is Koulibaly's agent. So, anyway, now De Laurentiis has been saying that he expects it to be done soon. Everything reports it. Everyone's suggesting that this is essentially now about to be pushed over the finishing line. And I'm glad to see the end of this saga. You know, Koulibaly is a very good option for Manchester City Football Club. No, he hasn't had a great season. I do admit he hasn't had a great season. But I did speak to an Italian football expert. You can see the video will be on screen right now somewhere. And he reassured me basically that this was very much symptomatic of Napoli's season as a whole. That largely it wasn't just Koulibaly dragging the team down. Everyone else was kind of in a malaise, so to speak. Everyone else is in a little bit of rut, and Napoli's form had dropped off a little bit, and everyone was struggling to find their best form. Now, that's obviously not great news. You always want players who are banging form, but it doesn't negate in any way, shape or form the quality that Koulibaly has shown over the past 5 years of his career, at least 5 years, past 5 Champions League campaigns anyway. And Koulibaly has, you have to kind of ignore his form this season, but he has been one of the best centre-backs in European football for some time now. That is an unequivocal fact. He genuinely has been playing at a very high level. And most encouraging for me, Koulibaly's also been playing in a system, he's best in a system that's very similar to Manchester City Football Club. If you go back to the 17-18 or maybe 18-19 season, Koulibaly's best football was under Sarri. And we all know Sarri loved to play that kind of possession football that Guardiola really likes. Koulibaly can pass the ball as well. He can really break the lines, which is obviously incredibly important for any central defender. I'm encouraged by this. I know he's not had a great season, but I don't think there really are that many great options around. I know you'll all say, well, I want Upamecano or Konate or Koundé. And do you know what? Fair enough, but for whatever reason, Manchester City aren't going for those. I would say largely that they're not all perfect options. There are question marks about all of them as ever. I mean, it's very easy just to see the positives from one side when you want a player and then negate the negatives, because that's human nature to do that. But we can't deny that Kalidou Koulibaly, if it goes well, is a phenomenal transfer. It's a big if, of course. He's always a big if for any transfer. But if this goes well, this could be genuinely a fantastic transfer, because he does have proven ability. Maybe he just needs a change of scenery to reset his focus, and maybe this is what Manchester City could provide him. I'm fine with Koulibaly coming in. I think this is potentially a very good transfer. It's an awful lot of money. I can't deny that. Around 70 million euros is like 62 million quid or something like that. I can't deny that's a hell of a lot of money. But once again, it isn't our money. Manchester City can clearly afford it, and we could get a lot longer than we realise out of them. I've said this multiple times, but I'm going to repeat it on videos anyway. He only just turned 29 recently. He's only a week older than Kevin De Bruyne. So you'll have a whole season at 29, a whole season at 30, a whole season at 31. No one would say a 31-year-old defender is washed up, by the way. So that's 3 seasons already. A whole season at 32. A whole season at 33. That's 5 seasons there. And it's very feasible that he can still be playing at a very high level at 33 years old. I mean, why not? Why wouldn't he be? Because you see a lot of basically senior centre-backs and other teams playing totally fine to a high level in the Champions League, winning trophies despite being in their early mid-30s. You got to look around Europe and see the likes of Vincent Kompany did it, Terry did it, Ramos did it, Ferdinand did it. Basically, loads of people can do that these days because footballers aren't they're not done at 30 these days. They've got absolutely loads of time left. No one would say Kevin De Bruyne is done. And Koulibaly could be a very, very, very good signing potentially. I'm excited because this is what we need. And I know it feels a little bit a bit underwhelming given the Messi saga. And I'm still burnt by that. And obviously that's dead in the water now. And it does feel a bit underwhelming. But if we took the Messi thing out of the window, if we took it entirely out of the picture, no one would question this transfer window so far. Ferran Torres, Nathan Ake, Koulibaly, at this point with a month left, everyone would have been like, do you know what? That's actually pretty good. I will take that. That's not bad at all. And given the fact that Kalidou has also talked about Manchester City wanting other players away from Koulibaly as well, he didn't specifically say that, of course, but he said he wanted another 2 or 3 players, and Koulibaly was one that we were going for. I don't see Messi as one of those players either, because I don't think he would have spoken in such certain terms given the complexity of that deal. Then maybe there's someone else coming in too. This has the potential to be a very good window. It just feels very weird given the post-Messi landscape that we're now living in. But Koulibaly solves a big load of problems, Ferran Torres offers an alternative to Sane that we didn't have last season given Sane's injuries. And he offers something a little bit different as well, which I'm quite excited to see. Do not sleep on Ferran Torres. This kid is a bit of a golden boy in Spain for a reason. And I think he could be a bit of a surprise signing this season. I did a video yesterday with some other fan channels, and to be honest, they didn't really know anything about Ferran Torres, which shows how under the radar he's gone in general. And they weren't even that bothered by him. And I was saying, don't sleep on this guy. He could be very, very exciting. And they're like, okay, well, who is he? Which shows exactly how little people have been paying attention to him. He's a very good player, and I think we should be very, very confident. Ake was very good for the Netherlands last night at left back, and maybe he'll be an option there every now and then. And he'll be absolutely perfect once again for free at the back. I think Ake is going to surprise a few people too. Ake is very likeable. He's Bournemouth's best ever player according to their fans. I know that's not the highest bar with all due respect to them, but don't put him down. He could potentially be a very good signing for Manchester City Football Club. He's a good player. He's a good player. Pace, leadership, composure, desire. What's to say he doesn't end up becoming something of a cult hero at Manchester City Football Club? Do not put Ake down. He could be a lot better than we realise. And after that, who else could we sign? Maybe we'll sign a left back. I can't really see it for whatever reason. It feels very quiet on the links in terms of left backs. Maybe we'll sign a midfielder. I would love personally Houssam Aouar. I absolutely love him. I think he's got world class potential. I think he's got David Silva-esque traits to his game, and I would take that in a heartbeat. 100% I would take that in a heartbeat. After that, Who knows? I do maintain that Manchester City do need a forward. We definitely need a forward. I don't think we can go into the season with Gabriel Jesus and Sergio Aguero and expect no problems. I've got a really bad niggly feeling about Aguero and his meniscus injury. It's the kind of injury where I can see him missing 3 weeks here and then another 3 weeks after 3 weeks and constantly getting injuries and constantly struggling to find his form. I'm not confident about this at all with Sergio Aguero. So I want Manchester City to be cautious and reinforced potentially as a forward. I feel like we're seeing the beginning of the end. I hope I'm wrong. But I've got a feeling next season we could only have one striker for several months at an end if we're not careful and not cautious and if we don't reinforce. Don't get me wrong, I would love that to be Liam Delap. He's a fantastic young striker. I just can't see City throwing someone like Liam Delap in at the deep end. It goes against everything that we'll see from Manchester City, but it's not a bad option. Do it, is what I would say. But in that instance, if we're not going to do it, maybe get a backup striker. That's what I'd love to see. But guys, Koulibaly is starting to hit towards the end now. The end game is riding in, and I'm very, very delighted. It looks like he's going to be a Manchester City player. Obviously, there's no given at all, but the Koulibaly canoe is rowing fast towards Manchester, and I'm very, very happy about that because I think he's a player that we definitely 100% need. Don't forget as well, all these people here scrolling down the side of me, wherever you are, the Patreons, thank you so much for the support on this channel. Couldn't do what I'm doing without you. Seriously, you're all absolute heroes. And also, thank you to all the YouTube members. And don't forget to follow me at twitch.tv/Esteemed Kompany. I'll be doing a live video later on tonight, probably about 7 PM or something like that. And I'll go live on Twitch as well, playing either Fall Guys or maybe a bit of Tony Hawk's Pro Skater as well, because it's really, really good. Anyway, hit that subscribe button. Let me know in the comments what you make of this transfer. Love you all loads. Give it a like, and I'll see you later.